colon cancer, prostate cancer, bladder cancer. We've all probably heard of those. My name is JR, and I was diagnosed yesterday I was told yesterday that I have an unknown form of cancer. It was tested for bladder cancer. It was tested for bladder, colon, and pancreatic. I'm sorry, not pancreatic. Prostate. But they didn't test positive for any of those. My PSA was 0.4, which is why I didn't think it was going to come back cancerous, but I have a mass that is growing off my prostate, interfering with my colon and my bladder. So today is the 22nd day of July 2026. This is sort of a video diary of my journey that I'm about to be on, because it's obviously pretty devastating news that number one, you have cancer. Number two, the doctors don't know what it is. My results have been sent to Cleveland Clinic for further assessment to see if they can determine what kind it is, to try to come up with a course of action. I'm 52 years old. I will be 53 in September. The current diagnosis, if you will, or plan of action, worst case scenario, they're telling me, is removing the bladder, the prostate, and part of my colon, which is pretty devastating news, on top of the fact that, when they tell you have cancer. So, like I said, I just wanted to start a video documentary of my journey. I don't know how often I'll do updates or things of this nature, and I don't know if it'll help me or hurt me. I just feel like sometimes talking about it, or maybe sharing. One of the things I guess I wanted to share was the symptoms have been going on for approximately a month. When they first started, I felt like I was constipated. I was having pressure in my rectum area. I felt like I had to go to the bathroom all the time, but I couldn't go. And I thought it was, impacted bowels, or, some kind of blockage or something. Because that's the sensation I have right now, and I have all the time. Because of the location of the mass, like I said, it pushes on my colon, so it feels like I have to have a bowel movement almost every second of every day. Very unpleasant experience. Very difficult to sleep when you feel like you got to go to the bathroom. And also, I have painful urination, so it's hard to urinate sometimes, or painful. I don't always empty my bladder because all that's affected. So it's been a very unpleasant experience. So anyway, as I said, the symptoms were, I went to a GI thinking I needed a colonoscopy to figure out what's going on. Assuming it was GI stuff, I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably should have just jumped in with the doctor and said, hey, these are what I'm having. It wasn't discovered until, I think I went to three GI doctors and 2 urologists. The first urologist ordered a MRI after I had a CT scan of my abdomen area. The CT scan did reveal some abnormalities in my prostate area. The MRI confirmed it and made it much more descriptive as far as the size and everything goes. I think it was 7 centimeters, which is about 2 and 7, almost 3 inches, 2 and 3/4 inches. Procedure I had, they scoped me from the back and the front with a camera to look up the back side of the camera to see what was going on, and the front to see what was going on with the camera. And it's a very unique case. They don't really have an explanation or a treatment plan or anything. They're hoping once they get the pathology report from Cleveland Clinic, again, hoping that's a definitive labeling of some kind, then a actual course of action should be determined as far as if I will, need to do chemo or radiation or straight to surgery or whatever those options may end up being. So I'll probably say the thing I'm most concerned about is my wife, Stephanie. I didn't take it well. She's taking it less well than I am, even though she's a strong person, but she's so selfless and so caring that I'm worried that, she's going to wear herself out overdoing things for me. So I will continue to handle things best I can. I've got, they gave me, yesterday they gave me codeine, oxycodone, and a Valium to take as needed. I'm trying to avoid taking them often. I usually wait too long, and once the pain is, too much to handle before I take something. So, how can you help? Pray. Pray for Stephanie. Pray for me. Pray for wisdom, strength, patience. Just pray. So, if you're a prayer person, I would certainly appreciate every prayer you're willing to toss up for me, because I could certainly use them. I also want to thank, first and foremost, my wife, Stephanie. She's been a rock, and it was very hard getting the news of her there, because trying to be strong for someone you love and care about while you're getting that horrific news is a challenging set of circumstances, but there's nobody else I'd rather go through this with than her. I also want to thank my brother Dave and Todd for, it's not what you're thinking probably, but it was a rough place for me to be in. So prayers, like I said, I'll update occasionally. Like I said, the worst thing is pray for less pain, because the pain I have fluctuates from about a 4 to an 8 or a 10, and it's mostly what feels like my tailbone, but it's not, because where the mass is affecting, it's pushing on my colon, so it feels like, as I said before, that I got to go to the bathroom all the time, which is a very unpleasant feeling. And when you're riding around, the slightest little bumps, it kind of feels like you have a bruised tailbone on top of everything else. And then feeling like you have to urinate every 10 minutes, even though you can't, or it hurts, or... So prayers would be greatly appreciated. I'm just starting this journey. It's basically the starting line, or maybe I'm almost to the starting line. Like I said, I appreciate you. I love all my friends. I appreciate those of you that already know. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you reaching out more than you can possibly imagine. But as I said before, pray for Stephanie. It's gonna be hard on her. Thank you, guys.